Good evening, everyone. I, CA Pragya Jain, on behalf of Professional Skill Enrichment Committee of ICAI, welcome all the participants in today's webcast, that is Bridge the Gap, Turning Conflicts into Connection. And today, we have with us for the same topic CA Manish Bakshi. I welcome today's resource person, CA Manish Bakshi, and other present over here. So let me introduce CA Manish sir. CA Manish sir is a seasoned chartered accountant with over 34 years of professional experience. Currently, he is serving as our designated partner at Talati and Talati LLP, Chartered Accountants, Vadodara. A fellow member of Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, ICAI, he has developed deep expertise across a broad spectrum of financial domains, including direct and international taxation, inter and forensic audit, and forensic audit, and consultancy. His leadership extends beyond practice, as evidenced by his role as a certified BRSR professional and independent director registered with IDDB and a promoter of India's first international and domestic arbitration center, IDAC India. Beyond his technical acumen, CA Bakshiji is a passionate educationalist and personality development trainer, having delivered over 350 lectures at ICAI forums and university and corporate events. His contribution includes serving on the Corporate Taxation Committee of Alignment Global and Research Committee of Faculty of Commerce at MSU Baroda, with a career marked by excellence and service, both nationally and globally. CA Bakshi sir remains committed to empowering a professional through knowledge, leadership, and a balanced approach to life and work. Sir, once again, welcome you, and the session is yours, sir. Please, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Pragya ji in particular. And I would also like to thank the ICAI Committee of Professional Skill Enrichment Committee, Chairman Jay Charya ji, Abhay Chajer ji, and Secretary Dr. Sambit Kumar ji, and of course Manusi Jain for the excellent coordination. First of all, I would like to just tell you that topic given to me by Dr. Sambit ji is really a challenging one, because we were discussing and talking about the conflict management and all, when then he said, why can't we have some different topic instead of just the routine conflict management to a turning conflict into connection? It gave me, Dr. Sambit ji, let me confess that it gave me a great opportunity to again learn the new aspect of this conflict management, and that we are going to discuss today, share with you, and at the end we will also have some of the question answer session. Before going into the subject specific, I would like to tell you that the subject is such that we need to again unlearn something, and we have to relearn something to really understand the subject and give justice to this particular topic, which is very, very relevant in our day-to-day life. We have attended various seminars and conferences about the professional work-life and balance. This is much more than a work-life balance. We have attended or must have talked or read a subject at various levels in webinar, seminar, books about the conflict management. But this is much more about than the conflict management, that how we can turn conflict into a connection, how we can convert this particular challenge into an opportunity. That's the topic, turning conflict into the connection. And for which I would like to just request participant to be with me in terms of some of the questions which I am going to ask you. Unfortunately, I am not able to have the opinion poll, but by this question, you will understand that there are a lot of understanding, misunderstanding, and myth prevailing about the subject. So is the case with a very simple question. You may give the answer in the chat box, but very important, this thing
Sir,
is...
it is the single way communication.
Okay, okay,
They
fine.
cannot put
So-
it in the chat box.
No problem. So let them also have their self-analysis. Let them have the self-understanding of the very simple math prevailing in the world. Is sun rises in the east or west? Or I would say sun rises in the east. It's a true. Somebody will say sun rises in the east or west. Somebody will say it rises in the east. This is the math prevailing, and we have been taught about this particular thing from our LKG standard. The sun rises in the east. Let me tell you, my dear friends, sun never rises, sun never sets. It is earth which moving around the sun and makes a day and makes the light a night. So this topic is also like a same question, that whether sun rises in the east, true or false. True. Sun rises in east or west, sun rises in east. So whether there is a conflict in your life, whether there is a conflict in your day-to-day life, somebody may say yes, somebody may say no. I would like to tell you, my dear friend, those who are into the no category, it's a myth. It's a misunderstanding. Those who are present in this seminar and say and answer the question that whether there is a conflict existing, arising in your day-to-day life, when the answer is no, my dear friend, this is the topic for you. Because conflict is there, conflict is in existence with the human life. My dear friends, conflict is there when the baby is not born. Because conflict start arising at the time of birth. In the family, somebody will tell you, we'll go for the natural birth. Somebody will go tell, no, we'll go for the cesarean. Nowadays, cesarean also about the time, about the Muhurat. So that baby itself will be confused. Conflict arises, what is going on? Meaning thereby, conflict is there, is in existence with the human life, each and everyone's day-to-day life. And conflict also arises day in and day out in everyone's life. So that is the foremost preamble. I would like to just make it clear that conflict is there. So don't try to just work upon or finding out the formula whereby a day would come in your life when there will be no conflict. So please don't try on that. Conflict is there. So try on conflict management, and the topic is try on converting this conflict into a connection. Converting into this challenge into the opportunity. Conflict into connection. So conflict is always there in everybody's life, because everyone has a different understanding, different misunderstanding. So there'll be a chaos, there'll be a sadness, there'll be anger, there'll be a confusion, there'll be a frustration. So a lot of factors, there will be a heated arguments, and therefore the conflict is there in your life. Now we will see that how conflict arises. In today's life, human life, conflict is there because of there is no pause button in any of the devices which we are using. The cell phone or the laptop or the desktop which we are using even right now. My dear friend, there is no pause button. And that is the reason why conflict is arising, because we have not been used to with the tape recorder which our second generation and first generation have a direct access to a tape recorder. If you still remember, if anyone has seen the tape recorder, except the fourth generation and fifth generation chartered accountants who are there in this seminar, in this webinar, I think Dr. Sambitji and person like me, I don't know about Pragna madam also, but we have seen the tape recorder. We have used that button pause. But unfortunately, over a period of time, in last one decade, I also have not used that pause button. Any devices which has a pause button. So try to understand, my dear friends, that life requires pause, which unfortunately we don't have access to any of the devices where there is a pause. And we are used to with mobile, we are used to with the laptop, we are used to with various gadgets on tablets and notepad and various things. Any of this gadget do not have a pause button. And so we'll go along with this session and understand that how important that pause is in our life to manage and to convert it into the connection. That's the point. We don't have a basic understanding, and rather having understanding, are we following that red, yellow and green light concept in our day-to-day life? Answer of majority of us is no. When I am driving a car, I have seen the, red light, yellow light and green light. When green is converting into yellow, still I'll try to cross that road because I don't have an understanding and rather, the concept of following that yellow. I will only wait until the yellow light will appear in the crossroad, and vice versa. So, my dear friends, there are certain concepts which we have missed out. We are missing it out. That we have the fourth generation and fifth generation, with due respect, I will tell you that don't understand this red, yellow, and green. They only have red and yellow. Red and green, sorry. Like this device which we are talking about. There is no yellow button in anywhere. And so is the case with traffic. And that root cause of conflict. Conflict arises from that we don't understand yellow light concept. Concept arises because of generation gap. That's what I want to say. Because seniors are always telling us, ये हमारे तारक मेहता का उल्टा चश्मा जो देख रहे हैं, एक में वो सेक्रेटरी भिड़े. He knows that I know everything. It is like seniors who always tells us, we have seen more Diwali than you. Yes, you have seen more Diwali than you, but we also have some experience with latest technology, and that the root cause of conflict. Conflict starts. A generation gap. Generation gap is the most important factor of the conflict. We'll see whether and when we'll go ahead that how to cover up the issues which we are talking about. The main again reason is the उसकी सारी मेरी सारी से सफेद क्यों, प्रज्ञा जी, right? That is the concept. That is
yes, sir, yes.
उसकी सारी मेरी सारी से सफेद क्यों? On a lighter side, due respect to ladies. हाँ, तो ये एक conflict वहां से शुरू होता है. Lifestyle comparison that he has brought the Audi, so I have to go for Mercedes. Conflict वहां से शुरू होता है. This conflict I am talking about are of a different nature. We'll see. It's a within intra, it's an interpersonal, it's an intergroup. So all these factors and the ground reality, which I am just discussing and putting it forward to you, so that you will be with me for next 1.5 hours, that these are the certain ground realities, certain factors which is prevailing in our day-to-day life and are the reason, my dear friends, for the conflict. Lifestyle. That is the reason why conflict arises. Conflict, as I told you, conflict are inter and intra. We'll see later on. Conflict is a state of mind, nothing else. As we have discussed earlier, certain ground reality and real life incidences, so that I can correlate you with the subject. Many of you now would agree with me, yes. Conflict because of this, conflict because of this. It's a state of mind. Individually, a human being has a day every minute, a human mind gets number of thoughts. Forget about the hour and day. How one can able to filter those thoughts, how one can identify those thoughts as relevant or irrelevant, how one can identify and screen those thoughts into the relevant and irrelevant, and then the conflict starts. First conflict starts with the human being is with himself or herself, and that starts from the state of mind, thought process. Very, very important to understand this. That many of you might be thinking that I will be talking about conflict with your colleague, conflict with your wife, conflict with your son, conflict with at workplace, but these are the conflict of the second stage in nature. Conflict with myself. Conflict starts from my no proper control over my mind and my thoughts. One who has some control over their mind and over their thoughts will have a less conflict than the others in the life. This is also a fact of the case. And one who has no much or more control over the thoughts, and they are facing a more conflict than others in the life. So try to understand, my dear friends, this topic from a different perspective, that one who can have some control. I never say that everybody or anybody can have a full control over mind. No one. Even senior of the senior management gurus or some religious gurus or whomever you name cannot have and do not have and would not have a 100% control over mind. That is a fact. So that we have to accept. So many a time conflict arises because we are trying to unnecessarily having control over mind, control over thoughts. No, you can't have a much control over thought. You can, having a thought, received a thought, you can have a control over relevant and irrelevant. Relevant you can work upon, irrelevant you can just throw it out, keep it aside. So that's the ground reality, and that's the state of mind of each and every individual. And that is why the conflict arises. Disagreement at every level, at work or at social places or at the personal life, maybe family. We will talk during the entire session about three: that workplace, the social, and the family. At three places, everybody is involved in their day in and day out life. And whenever there is a disagreement in the state of mind about the maybe priority about the involvement, about the permission or consent which one has to give, or otherwise permission or consent has not been asked at all the three level which just I have mentioned, and you don't agree to that particular decision which is being taken at the workplace or in your society, in your caste, in your association, or at your family. Again, it is related with the state of mind. If your mind has some kind of, again, a fourth bullet point, some kind of superlative ego, then this agreement would be of a higher level. When you have that, ego will always be there in everyone's life, but when that extent of ego is on higher side, disagreement will be on higher side and the conflict will be on higher side. So try to correlate yourself with this all real life discussion which I am putting it forward to you for your thoughts, for your understanding, so that if this is being understood in the initial half an hour talk, my next talk will be more easy, will be more in terms of I'll be reaching out to you for the next second and third phase of the talk. Difference of opinion. Yes, difference of opinion always has to be there. And we being a professional, if I remember the Nani Palkhiwala ji, very veteran and very senior and the authority in the taxation on the constitution in the India, always used to say, when there are two professionals discussing, there has to be a three viewpoint. There has to be a three opinion. But the professionals, person who is having the understanding of the conflict, the subject per se, would ultimately agree to one. And that's the topic of the day. Conflict would be there, difference of opinion would be there and has to be there. When there are two professionals, there has to be three views. But then ultimately you have to arrive at the one. That's the converting conflict into the turning conflict into connection. That's the topic. So don't worry about the difference of opinion. Difference of opinion would be there in your office, at what level you are, whether you are at the top level, middle level, or the execution level. At any of the level you are in your workplace, conflict would be there because of difference of opinion. And you, even being the execution level, are free to express your view, free to express your opinion. And that's why the difference of opinion would be there. But we'll see going forward that how to deal with difference of opinion and convert it into a connection. My endeavor is to just make you aware that you don't worry and work upon that there should not be a difference of opinion. There has to be a difference of opinion. There would be a difference of opinion in your family. There would be a difference of opinion even on Sunday when you are deciding to go out for the dinner. Your wife would say, no, we will go for the Chinese restaurant, and you would like to go for Gujarati because you are a professional, and Monday to Saturday you are busy occupying and having your lunch and dinner outside. So you would go for I am a Gujarati, so I am saying Gujarati. And your son said, "Arey, Papa and Mummy, don't go for Gujarati and Chinese. Let's go for some Italian cuisine." This is the, difference of opinion always would be there. But how to deal this? You being at the top level, we'll see. But I am just correlating even my second phase and third phase at this stage to make you understand that you as a top level person ultimately has to resolve and has to arrive at the, yes, let's go for the Italian cuisine. Let's go for pizza and pasta. That's what the difference of opinion to sab jagah pe aayega. Difference of opinion would be there in your society, in your club, in your samaj, in your the association where you are an executive committee member. डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियन तो शायद संबित जी में भी आया होगा और मानुषी में आया होगा जब जय सर ने बोला होगा नहीं नहीं ये टॉपिक अभी नहीं रखना है, अभी तो ये रखा था, नहीं नहीं वी शुड गो फॉर दिस टॉपिक और दैट टॉपिक, माइट बी. No, this topic we can take up because last only session was related to this topic, so let's go for another topic. This difference of opinion has to be there and would be there, but then you have to come to a conclusion, come to one way, one view. When you are a person, top level person in your office as a chartered accountant practicing unit, which I am, always there will be a difference of opinion whether to go for a picnic this time or whether to go for box cricket this time or whether to go for this seminar or that seminar. Always difference of opinion would be there. But then, my dear friends, this is the conflict reason. If we are not able to agree on that disagreement, if we are not able to agree on that one point on the difference of opinion, conflict starts. Conflict arises. That is what I wanted to convey. Which now many of you, after this initial 15-20 minutes of the presentation, would agree with me. And difference because of the values and principles. When we are in this joint family, when we are into the multidisciplinary, multi-location chartered accountant practicing firm, or if you are into some of the industries where you are at the CFO, CEO level, values and principle matters. My grandfather used to have some strict values and principles, which my father has diluted, which me has diluted a lot, and I don't know about my, the son and daughter. Not in diluting the values and principle as such, but to some point of time to have some solution which will keep my values and principle also intact and my family also intact, which keep my values and principles of independence as far as chartered accountant profession is also concerned, and my office team also working ahead. That's how the conflict management would come into next level of discussion. And then how we can convert that into the connection. As I have discussed, superlative ego. Whether you are in the prevention side of the conflict or whether in encouragement side of the the conflict, which is again a ground reality. My dear friends, the topic is such that you will not find a PPT on your Google Guru. You will not find this kind of PPT in any of the chat box, any of the social media AI tool available. This is what I have prepared, and that's why I initially thank Sambit ji for giving me this topic, so I could also have a different understanding and perspective of the topic from not only conflict management but from correction, because you have to now identify yourself. Whenever conflict arises at workplace or in social circle or in your family, whether you are into a prevention side or encouragement side, because in society, in office, in everywhere, there are persons who are into the conflict encouragement side, which is not good, which is unfortunate, but it's a way of life which you have to understand and accept. And then we have to handle them. And then we have to convert them into connection. That is what is the technique. That is what is the strategy which you now, as participants of this seminar, would by bullet point come to know at the end of the seminar. You may take something home, and then you can identify, then you can understand that yes, certain class of people would be there who would encourage the conflict. It is intergroup. It's an interpersonal relationship and intergroup relationship. Everywhere this would be there. And then, my dear friend, it's a red flag. I am just giving you today that please try to identify that by mistake, knowingly or unknowingly, we are not a part of that encouragement group who encourage the conflict. Then it will be different management altogether. Then this topic will be on a different kind of discussion, one more session, if we are into the encouragement side of the conflict to convert into a connection. I know we always are a part of a group at the workplace or at social circle or at family who always in a part of a preventive group. It's like preventive medicine, right? So yes, I know all of us are into this prevention side. So my role, my the next session would be more easy for me to make you understand when we are into the prevention side. Again, I would like to take upon this topic, sources of the conflict. Sources of the conflict starts as far as the intrapersonal conflict is concerned because of multitasking. Almost every one of us, those who are in this webinar, are almost into multitasking activity. Maybe some participants who are into the only and only execution level, top level, middle level, and execution level, may not have this experience of multitasking, and absolutely surely then there would be a less conflict in their life. They will be facing less conflict in their life. But being a chartered accountant, even though we are in the execution level, there would be multitasking. At the workplace, I am talking about workplace. First of all, workplace. At the workplace, everybody is into multitasking. कोई ऐसा वर्कप्लेस नहीं है, नॉर इन द इंस्टीट्यूट, संबित जी और टेक्निकल टीम में हमारे एजाज जी थे, कि अभी एजाज जी खाली एक ही प्रोजेक्ट पे काम कर रहे हैं, या संबित जी एक ही प्रोजेक्ट पे काम कर रहे हैं, या मानुषी जी एक ही टास्क पे काम कर रही है. There are multitasking at each and every workplace, at each and every offices, each and every industries. And multitasking is the way of life. The point is how you can reduce that multitasking, or having not able to reduce, how you can this multitasking activities vis-a-vis priority. We'll see later on. बट मैंने बोला ना कि ये टॉपिक ही ऐसा है कि सेकंड थर्ड फेज का आगे पीछे आ ही जाएगा. मल्टीटास्किंग को आप how you can set your priorities, how you can prioritize your task would reduce the conflict, or would be able to help you in turning your conflict into the connection. Multitasking to hai, and multitasking is there when with limited resources. Next concept, conflict will be on higher side. in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of team members, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of technical knowledge and understanding of the task. Resources are of various nature. Many of us are facing this in our day-to-day life at the workplace. Multitasking role with a limited resources. That is dangerous. Multitasking has to be there. Well, multitasking with a proper resources, you can convert it into the connection. Try to understand my point. Take home. Multitasking में से you and me cannot just come out overnight. This is my, Pragna ji ne bataya, this is my 34 year of practice. So I am trying since last 4 or 5 years. So now come out of the multitasking, but it will take another 5 years. I am accepting you. I am confessing you that after 5 years, at my personal age of 62 and professional age of 40, like I may be able to come out of multitasking. Because multitasking to rahega. I am talking about only workplace. Again, after 5 years, multitasking at social level, multitasking at family level will be available, will be there. But if I plan my career properly, then at a certain age, at certain level, I can be able to manage multitasking with proper resources, so that the sources, which is the main source of the conflict, would arise in a very lesser extent. Conflict would be there. Conflict nahi hoga with your full resources and even one task at a time. Conflict nahi hoga, ऐसा तो मैं बोल ही नहीं रहा हूं. और ऐसा तो कोई बंदा मेरे लाइफ में मैंने देखा ही नहीं है कि जिसके पास कॉन्फ्लिक्ट नहीं है. I have made it clear in the beginning. Again, I am making clear. A conflict नहीं है, आपकी लाइफ में नहीं होगा आफ्टर दिस सेशन. ऐसा तो कोई है ही नहीं है सेशन का ऑब्जेक्टिव. That is a disclaimer कि after attending this session, nobody should believe and take home that there will be no conflict in life. Conflict would be there. How you are going to manage, that is the second phase and third phase we are going to talk. So multitasking with limited resources is the very, very important area which everyone has to understand. My dear friends, there is no 1 + 1 to formula. There is no debit what comes in, credit what goes out, golden rule for this managing multitasking with even adequate resources, and there will be no conflict. Yes, with this understanding now, one can really have to evaluate that when you are in multitasking, my dear friend, you have to evaluate whether you have adequate resources or not. Multitasking with limited resources is a dangerous sign for we professionals at our workplace. And then you are inviting conflict. Let me give you a very clear cut bullet point that you will be inviting conflict. Then the solution, then the resolution, then the turning conflict into connection will be a very, very, very far away. So you have to understand that, yes, you should have a proper resources. You should have a proper manpower. You should have a proper technical understanding. You should have a proper money, proper infrastructure, proper IT support. Then only you can carry out multitasking in a very professional way, and you can deliver. Nowadays, it's not a scope of work. Nowadays, in corporate world, it's a deliverable. Then you can provide deliverables to your clients and user of your services, my dear friend, in time and with quality. Both things go together. in time and quality. And when we are not, conflict starts. When we are there, when we are not able to provide this because of limited resources, conflict starts. And there will be conflict, intergroup, we'll see. Just we talked before some time that because of we are not able to decide the priorities, state of mind, disagreement, difference of opinion, we have discussed, no pause button, no understanding. It is all related to this not able to decide priority. Main, again, into my personal view, the one of the very important source, dangerous source of conflict is not able to decide priorities. Professional, social, and personal. Everyone has almost three spheres of the life, three areas in which everyone has to involve in day-to-day life, in their professional life, in the social life, and their personal family life. Since I am not able to decide priorities, since I am not able to prioritize between my profession, between my social activities and my personal life, this concept you must have discussed, must have read in any of the seminar of work-life balance. That I am just trying to recollect you at this stage. This is not a new a bullet point. This bullet point everyone has discussed, read in many seminar, workshop, any of the book, many of the webinar. That because of one is not able to decide the priority between the profession, that is work, the social, and the personal life. One is not able to balance their life, work-life balance approach, which is there in the discussion since last 10 years, 1 decade in India. And that is the root cause of that is not able to decide priority. And root cause of conflict is this, that conflict arises. Then conflict will arise within mind, intra-personal conflict. You are not able to decide priority, so there will be interpersonal conflict. You are not able to decide priority, so there will be a intra-group conflict. You are not able to decide priority, there will be intergroup conflict. Since you are not able to decide priority, at all the 4 basic type of conflicts would arise because of this. That one is not able to decide priority. Source. So having known the source, now you all are mature enough, experienced enough, professional individual to work upon to a very, very limited extent. Either you have to take your approach only 5 degree right, or maybe 7 degree left, or maybe 10 degree left and 5 degree right. Something very small, minor change in the navigation of your life will make your life very easy with less conflict. That is the point. That very important. We're not able to decide the priority is a root cause, source of the conflict. Unclear role and responsibilities at a workplace, unclear role and responsibility of family, unclear role and responsibility of your any social organization where you are an executive committee member. Try to correlate, try to go back to any of the conflict in recent past you encountered, my dear friends, is because of this unclear role and responsibilities. I have not been able to define a role and responsibilities at all the 3 places, and that is why the conflict arises. Source of conflict. As far as the intergroup conflict is concerned, is mainly because no common goal, no common objective. As a partner, as a proprietor, as a leader of the team, you have a goal, but it is not being percolated down by you as a team leader, by you as a partner. See, this is the goal. These are the objectives of our office, our workplace, our organization, our industry. It is not been clearly defined. I have one goal. I have some goal. Like Jai Charya ji has one goal, and the Abhay ji has a goal, but that is not being percolated down to the secretariat level. The Sambit ji may have their own ideas. That yes, this is a new committee. First time this committee has been formed by the at the ICI level. Yes, if I am not mistaken, Professional Skill Enrichment Committee. So everybody will have their own ideas. Everybody will have their own understanding about the role and responsibility, about the goal and objective of this committee. If it is not being clearly discussed, if it is not being clearly defined by the president or by the council member who has come out with this committee to the secretariat level and secretary to the working level, third level, my dear friend, there will be a conflict. Source of conflict. It is happening everywhere, every workplace. I have given an example of institute because of this committee, new committee. It is happening everywhere, even in our family, even our social life. There is no common goal. There is no common objective. In offices of us, conflict arises because there is no standard operating procedures. SOPs. There is no SOPs. So when audit of one of the company is undertaken by partner A, there will be a different approach. Partner A in his team. If next year the same audit is carried out by other partner, since we don't have SOP in our offices, to be very frank with you, many of us, conflict starts. Again, we'll see. This is a part of, again, conflict management also. That to avoid this, we should have SOP. We'll see later on. Many of the conflict at every three areas of life, work, social, and family, is because of power struggle. Everybody feels that I am more powerful than others. That is a state of mind. See, first line. Power struggle. I have that in mind that I am the most powerful partner of the Talati and Talati. And that is a source of conflict. Team leader working under my team would have that state of mind that I am the most powerful team leader. Or to be very open and frank with you, this chartered accountant group, the team leader working under our partner Aniket Talatiji, he will feel that I am the most powerful team leader and my team is most powerful because we are working under that Aniket Talatiji or Sunil Talatiji's team. That is the source of this. In family, you will say I am the most powerful person. So my son and daughter has to follow my instruction, my rule. My wife has to follow because I am the most powerful person in the family. Or in your Rotary Club or Lions Club where you are the treasurer as a chartered accountant. Many of us are having that role and responsibility in social circle. You will say I am the most powerful person because no check would be issued because without my signature. So I am the most powerful person. That power struggles is the very, very basic and dangerous source of the conflict. And that is your state of mind. If we are into this state of mind, we have to immediately sit down with ourselves and just change our direction, approach of the life, attitude of the life to just 2 degree, 3 degree, 5 degree, and things will sail so smoothly, my dear friends, that there is no need of the next discussion, which is going to be there for another, 550 or 650, 1 hour. 1 घंटे के डिस्कशन का आपको कोई जरूरत ही नहीं रहेगा. Having understand this basic preamble, basic discussion on the topic of sources, about the mind, state of mind, about the SOPs. Even though there is SOP, let SOP should work. Let system should work. Why you should feel that I am the most powerful individual in my organization? The organization, the office, the institute, the society, the club, the family will be having a less conflict, my dear friend, who work with the SOP and having less number of power struggle. I being the head of the family, let that certain systems and protocols should follow. And if not, I should evaluate myself that why it is not being followed rather than to create the conflict. If the SOP is not being followed in my office, I must understand, evaluate why it is not being followed, under what circumstances it is not being followed, rather than just to create a conflict. Many a times we create the conflict. That's what my point. And so we are in this particular category because we are at this age, myself is in such a category that I am in my office also, in my society also, in my family also, having that person who is at the center point. Person who has to, in office, manage the senior most partner and the junior most partner. Person in the society who has to manage the president also and the secretary also being a treasurer. Person in the family, I have to manage my parents and my son and daughter also. Try to try to identify yourself that in which category you are. And if you are in this category, which I am, there are bright chances that conflict would be more because of yourself. Because of myself, because of my own approach, my own aptitude. That why this SOP is not being followed? Because I am the most powerful person in this. Power struggle. Power struggle is very, very important. वो होना भी चाहिए, रहना भी चाहिए. But then going forward, we'll see how we can resolve that particular power struggle and convert, even if the conflict arises, into the connection. Over the last 50 minutes, we have been able to discuss at various bullet points about the type of conflicts, right? So it doesn't mean that conflict is going to be between a group only, between two individual only. It's a intrapersonal conflict with yourself. That Mr. Bide conflict with his self. No, this cannot be done. भाई आपके सोसाइटी के बच्चे लोग वेकेशन में कुछ सेट रूल्स से 1-8 घंटा ज्यादा क्लब हाउस का यूज करना चाहते हैं, तो क्या प्रॉब्लम है भाई? नो, एक मैं व सेक्रेटरी भिड़े मैं बोलूंगा ऐसा ही होगा. So that interpersonal conflict you are creating within yourselves. It is happening every day in and day out with yourself. And if that conflict is being resolved properly, being a rational person, having a positive attitude in the life, my dear friend, you will be able to decide the priority and you will be able to prioritize that conflict and you will be able to resolve that and convert that into the opportunities. That's the point. Intrapersonal. आपके दिमाग में आपके खुद के साथ देयर आर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो रहा है आज के दिन में एट द वर्क प्लेस at the social circle, at the family circle. And then, yes, interpersonal. Interpersonal conflict is a very routine kind of conflict which is happening every day 10 times in your office, every day maybe 2 times in your family. Bear with me, I am talking about my family, not yours. It has to be there. Conflict तो होने वाला ही है. जैसे मैंने एग्जाम्पल भी दिया, लाइव एग्जाम्पल. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट तो होने वाला ही है interpersonal. Conflict will be there in intra-group, within your group, within your team only, in your office, within your team also. And intergroup, with the other group. Conflicts are going to be there. So conflicts are basically happening in and around these 4 basic types is intrapersonal, interpersonal, intra-group and intergroup. And then conflict arises because of strategy and because of ideology. And that bundly strategy conflict arises at the generally workplace and ideological happening at the majority cases at the your family or your social circle. These are the types of conflict which you know, but going forward and to connect the topic to a next level, this slide I thought was important, and that's why having discussed and having known this particular types of conflict, I thought let me have a very bird's eye view to connect you with the next phase of the discussion. So conflict तो वर्क प्लेस में होने वाला ही है. The point important here is one who is able to identify conflict at the early stage is the point, can convert that conflict into connection. In your office, this is happening every day. Any meeting. It is maybe because of their superlative ego, maybe because of their, improper communications, or maybe because of non-standardized SOP in the office, various reasons that conflict will arise. But you have to identify conflict at the early stage is the next level of discussion. You being at the center point, again, now, collating that. You have to identify. One who can identify the conflict at the early stage will be able to resolve that conflict and will be able to turn that conflict into connection. Conflict to hoga, but though between your 2 employees conflict is happening, but you out of the 4, head of that office, head of that family, head of that firm, head of the organization, have to identify the conflict. Conflict identification first and foremost is the tone of the individual, tone of the person. From that tone, you generally identify that yes, now conflict is going to be there because somebody has raised their voice. In normal discussion, in group discussion, or in the even interpersonal relationship between 2 individuals, when somebody is raising voice in discussion with only yourself, interpersonal relationship You must understand now onward that yes, now conflict is just starting point of conflict. Some point of time, a very mature person would also understand and realize that he or she has raised the voice because of number of reasons. SOP is not being followed, target is not achieved, the timelines is not followed, scope is not being covered. Or in family, even though you have made it very clear in the morning breakfast table that आज ये हो जाना चाहिए, वो शाम को आप घर पे नहीं हुआ, various things. So you have been able, you have raised your voice. It is happening with everyone. But a mature individual would immediately able to identify the early stage. Oh, I have raised my voice. Why? For what? What purpose is going to serve? What benefit is going to have to you or to others? Person? No benefit, nothing. So you have to identify, my dear friends, that now conflict is going to rise. नहीं हुआ तो नहीं हुआ काम, नहीं हुआ तो टाइमलाइन नहीं हुआ, स्कोप कवरेज नहीं हुआ, वो डिलीवरी टाइम सर रिपोर्ट की नहीं गई, आज कोई सबमिशन नहीं हुआ ऑफिस में. My dear friend, you should not raise your voice. When your voice is raised as a natural course of action, that is also not good as a mature individual, as a head of the family, head of the office, because it's a starting point of conflict. You have to identify that particular conflict at the early stage, which is going to raise now. And then you have to work upon conflict resolution, and then you have to work upon converting into this. But why? Tone matters a lot. And vice versa. When there is an interpersonal relationship or when there is an intergroup discussion going on, somebody is raising voice. You as a head of that group, partner of the firm, head of the family, if some member is raising voice, or two persons are, as we have seen the picture, two persons have started arguing and they have raised their voice, it's an early signal, early stage of a conflict will now start. At that point of time, my dear friend, you have to play a role, you have to play an important role in making them calm down, making them understand that by raising voice, you are not going to prove your point. Simple. I am just giving you my real life example. Whenever I am there and somebody is raising point, I always tell them that my dear friend, my dear son, my daughter, my junior partner, or any team leader, or in a social circle, if my secretary is raising voice, I am the treasurer. I always tell this word, and that is helping me a lot. And then I am able to convert them into my connection as my strong supporter. That, my dear friends, by raising voice, what are you going to prove? By raising voice, would you be able to prove that you are right and others are wrong? By raising voice, whether you are able to just convince others? By raising voice, you mean to see that everybody will be convinced with you? By raising voice, what are you going to prove? What are you going to achieve? What are you going to get benefit out of it? So first of all, calm down. My second phase of talk, I am converting and coding with third phase of talk because all bullet points are interrelated. So tone matters a lot. You have to identify the cause of the conflict at the early stage. And once you are able to identify that, my dear friend, you are the winner. No conflict of resolution. See, conflict resolution is the topic which we have talked a lot of point of time, but the topic given to me by Sambit is conflict, turning conflict into the connection. So by this, you are converting that at the early stage conflict into a connection. Both those employees of yours will be your supporter. Both will convince with you. Both will accept your leadership. Your son and daughter are arguing for nothing and raising voice. You should tell both of them, what are you going to achieve? क्या मिलने वाला है आपको? Whatever point, whatever discussion you wanted to carry out, go ahead. I am not telling that I am in hurry and don't discuss the point. You should carry out, you should discuss openly, and either you should get convinced with your daughter, your sister, or you should convince yourself with your sister. That's what I tell to my son and daughter. And that's what I tell to my 2 team members in the office. The point here is, I'm not on this by having identify you as a boss, as a father, as a person is a center point in the society, should restrict them to discuss. ये भी point आने वाला है पीछे. So tone matters. You should identify as a now person who has attended this webinar. बॉडी लैंग्वेज से आपको पता हो जाना चाहिए कि यहाँ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट इज गोइंग टू स्टार्ट और कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हैज ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड. So tone, body language, sarcastic comments, these are the bullet points. Any indirect or backhanded complaint, try to correlate. जो आपके साथ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो रहा है, जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट के आप पार्ट बन चुके हो, उसके बाद रिजॉल्व करने में टाइम लगाते हो, उसको अर्ली स्टेज पे आइडेंटिफाई कर लो. सरकास्टिक कमेंट कोई दे रहा है किसके लिए? इफ यू आर देयर इन दैट पर्टिकुलर प्लेस, इफ यू आर प्रेजेंट, माय डियर फ्रेंड, यू एज ए इंडिविजुअल must identify that this is a starting point of conflict. Conflict is going to now start. So that point of time only you should restrict that whatever you wanted to discuss, no personal comments on anybody. Henceforth, which I am not going to tolerate. You should be assertive. You should be authoritative that point of time. Yes, you should use your power that point of time. But you should assertively tell, discussion must go on, but no personal remark, no sarcastic remarks, which is not going to serve any purpose. And by this kind of approach and attitude, my dear friend, you can convert the starting point of conflict. You can avoid the conflict, and you can convert that into your connections, your strong supporters. Many a times, what we have discussed, just opposite to that, silence is also a concern. If somebody in your group, in the office, is silent on some of the discussion, which otherwise he is a vocal person, which otherwise he always take part in the discussion in your group meeting, in your Lions Club meeting, when you are office bearer, in your family. If your son or daughter is not taking part and just keeping himself silent, Am I reaching to your mind and heart? Yes, this is happening. You can correlate. Yeah, this is happening this has happened just yesterday. Yes, he didn't spell out anything, spoke anything. My dear friend, it's an early signal for conflict. If somebody, your son is not participating in a very important discussion, when you're a very active team leader is not taking part in the discussion and just became a silent spectator, you should identify at this point of time that yes, there is a conflict. And you should talk to him on one-to-one basis. Maybe at that point of time, maybe later on, and try to understand his POV, point of view. Try to reconcile conflict management, and then you can convert them into your connection. So silence is also an early signal of conflict. Silence does not mean that they are agreeing with you. They are just approving your all plans and timelines and suggestions and everything in your office. Somebody is not answering to some of the 3 projects to be started simultaneously by that particular team, having very strict timeline, then it's area of concern. You should tell, okay, tell me whether it's achievable or not. You should ask him questions. That are you convinced? Are you with me? Are you with group? That whether we'll be able to achieve this, or you have some different viewpoint. Please be frank. Don't think that I, being a partner, will think otherwise, that you are not with us, we are not with group. But please share your view. That because of this resource reason, because of this resource limitation, we will not be able to do multitasking. Yes, those viewpoints have to be accepted by you, and avoid the conflict, identify the conflict and avoid the conflict, and convert that group into your asset. Blame game begins in any of the group discussion. When blame game begins, it's an again early stage of conflict. Whenever the blame game starts, right? It has happened. It has happened when we have not been able to meet the timeline, when we have not been able to submit the submission to the CIT appeal today. It has happened when we have not been able to meet and submit that report which is required to be submitted by today, and blame game starts. It is because of this, or because of you, because of that, because of this reason, because of that. There will be a huge conflict in your group if you don't identify and don't settle the issues within that intra-group. This is basically, first of all, intra-group. Very dangerous conflict happening because of some non-performance. Blame game is this. When RCB lost, right? Last but second league match, captain was Jitesh Sharma. If you remember that Jitesh Sharma's interview, or you can go to Google and search out after this session, Jitesh Sharma was the captain because that Patidar was injured. Jitesh Sharma, after that lose, because they selected to field and they scored 232, which RCB could not. Jitesh Sharma told, my dear friends, that this lose is a good learning for all of us. We will have the discussion that which department we want to improve, which department we want to work upon hard, meaning thereby, if he would have started a blame game that today our bowling department has not performed well. Today our batsmen and opening batsmen have done well in the that first 6-over game power play, but unfortunately middle over did not play well. Yesterday they would not have won. The real life example I am just trying to correlate came to my mind, and I think it's relevant. Conflict. You being an head of the team, captain of the team, you should not be a part of any blame game. That is also a point of converting and turning conflict into the connection. And then yesterday, RCB won the IPL 18. Because of that, blame game is again very, very risky game. Blame game, you should not be a part of it. And if blame game has started, you should identify at the early stage. You should work upon that blame game within the group immediately. It's an intra-group conflict. Basically, intra-group blame game is always there. Don't worry. Right? But inter-group blame game I am talking about is very, very dangerous. So you should identify that early stage. You should work upon that and resolve that conflict amongst your team member, working team. And then, my dear friend, yes, the topic of the day is, yes, if you work upon that, identify at early stage, work upon that, you can turn that conflict of your working group into the connection. They can become your asset. And your next assignment will be before time, with quality and with time. Because in our profession, both things should go together, quality and time. Deliverables in time, deliverables with quality. Both things must go on time, parallel. So you have to identify at the early stage. And there are some strategies, many of them which may have discussed in the discussion by now. But some of the bullet points we must have not been correlated, missed out. So let's have a now discussion on the key strategies and techniques to conflict resolution. You have to stay calm. Many examples which we have discussed. If you are calm, or the person who is the starting point of conflict is calm, then other person will also become calm. Stay calm basically in interpersonal conflict. Interpersonal conflict जो है आपका with your wife, with your other partner, with your team leader, conflict with you and your partner, you and your business, professional partner and life partner. If one is calm at that particular moment, it's a conflict resolution. But that point of time, my superlative ego comes into play. Right? No, I am the senior partner. Why should I stay calm with this partner who has not performed properly, who has not achieved this target properly? I have told in the morning to my wife that please do this thing. And when I reached office, back home, that work is not been completed. But till you have to be calm. It's a strategy, my dear friends. By staying calm, you are conflict तो हो गया एक बार आपके दिमाग में. It's an intrapersonal conflict already been started. Because something has not been done, happened as per SOP, as per your set rules and principles, as per your ideology, as per your values, as per your instruction, as per your plan, whatever. So conflict तो already it's a इंट्रापर्सनल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, आपके दिमाग में ऑलरेडी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट स्टार्ट हो गया है बिकॉज काम नहीं हुआ है, एंड देन इट विल बी इनटू ए इंटरपर्सनल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, intrapersonal to interpersonal conflict with some person. You are X, so it will be with Y at workplace or at home. That point of time, dear friends, you all are matured, know these things, but many a time we are missing out because expressly this is not been discussed in any forum. And so today we are expressly discussing that if these things are going to happen. You can't avoid. You can reduce it. You can't avoid and bring to a zero level. These things are going to happen. Things are not going to happen, my dear friends, in life the way in which you wish and which you plan. Life never goes the way in which you have planned and which you wish. तो ये तो होने वाला है. तो इंट्रापर्सनल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट तो होने वाला है आपके दिमाग में, आपके खुद के साथ. But then you should be calm to avoid interpersonal conflict. And then you can convert, my dear friend, that your partner into a strong supporter. Because they are aware कि काम नहीं हुआ है. Your wife is fully aware. Your spouse, meaning thereby, your spouse is fully aware that this work is not being done. But if you will be calm, if you will finish your dinner, then he or she will tell you that आज ये काम नहीं हुआ है because of this reason, and your conflict is resolved. Listening skill, that's what is now interrelated with the stay calm and conflict resolutions. Listening skill, if that work has not been done, if that job is not been performed, if that assignment is not been delivered, try to listen. Most of the issues in the interpersonal relationship is because of my listening capacity is not good. I am not a good listener. So one of the most important technique and strategy of the conflict resolution is to be a good listener. One amongst us, even if today understand is very important technique of avoiding conflict or avoiding conflict and having conflict, resolving conflict. And after resolving, convert that particular individual into your strong supporter, into your connect. Is be a good listener. Your listening skills matters much, my dear friends, in avoiding conflict and resolving conflict. But we don't have that patience. My superlative ego come into play again, I am repeating, and that without having understanding that particular, the situation of the other person, I just start firing. And why it is not done? Why it is not done? That point of time, these are all again interconnected. You have to stay calm. You should have a good listening capacity. Along with that, you should have a good communication skills. Many of the conflicts starts because of I don't have a proper communication skills. आप जो कहना है कहो ना आपके सबऑर्डिनेट को, वो कुछ बोलने वाला नहीं है. आपका टीम लीडर आपके सामने कुछ नहीं बोलने वाला है. But you should communicate it properly. It requires good assertiveness. आपको आपकी घर जाके आपकी वाइफ को, आपको बेटे को, आज शाम को 7 बजे के बाद कुछ नहीं हुआ है, जो बोलना है बोलो ना. खाने के टाइम पे कुछ बराबर नहीं बना है तो जो बोलना है बोलो आपकी वाइफ को. It requires a lot of कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स, है ना। संबित जी, मैं क्या बोलता हूँ, आज शाम को जब दाल में नमक ज्यादा था तो मैंने क्या बोला मेरी वाइफ को कल रात को, कि आज नमक के हिसाब से दाल थोड़ी कम है। वो समझ गई। आई वुड हैव टोल्ड कि आज क्या बनाया, दाल कैसा दाल बनाया, चखा आपने, यू हैव नॉट टेस्टेड, कितना ज्यादा नमक है। ऑल थिंग्स वेर फैक्ट ट्रू, इसमें मैंने कोई गलत चीज नहीं बोली हुई, ऐसा बोला होता तो। बट टू अवॉइड कॉन्फ्लिक्ट एंड टू हैव ए strong interpersonal relationship and connect with my that other person at office or life, I should have told like this कि आज नमक के हिसाब से दाल थोड़ी कम पड़ गई है। My dear friends, she will become your strong supporter. ये छोटी छोटी चीज है कम्युनिकेशन स्किल में। How you communicate to your, person with whom you are interacting and there is a chance of conflict. Focus on subject matter. Many a times we are not focusing on subject matter, and rather we are just focusing on the around the subject matter, and that is the starting point of focus. So as a matter of strategy or of technique, you focus on subject matter, then automatically conflict will be reduced, or automatically conflict will be resolved also. Be open-minded. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रिजोल्यूशन की जो टेक्निक है, यू हैव टू बी ओपन माइंडेड, you have to be calm listener, good communicator. These are all and all mutually exclusive, my dear friends. हाँ, ऐसा मत कल जाके बोलना कि यार मनीष भाई ने तो बोला था कि यू शुड बी गुड लिसनर, तो आई हैव बिकम गुड लिसनर। यू हैव टू बी गुड कम्युनिकेटर, तो मैंने कम्युनिकेट कर दिया। बट you have to be open-minded also. You have to be focused on the subject matter also. There are a lot of, the strategies, not directly related with this, but there is a techniques of appreciation. एप्रिसिएशन के ऊपर मैं 1 घंटा आपको सेशन ले सकता हूं। आर्ट ऑफ एप्रिसिएशन, art of appreciation sometimes becomes a cause of conflict. Many of you are wondering that what I am talking about, right? So ऐसा नहीं है कि मैंने बोल दिया आज के you should appreciate and by way of appreciation you should avoid conflict and all. No, you should be focused on the subject matter. इसके ऊपर से मुझे याद आ रहा है, एक दिन क्या हुआ, ओवर ए डिनर देयर वाज ए वेरी गुड सब्जी, भिंडी की सब्जी थी, दाल था, अच्छा था। तो मैंने मेरी वाइफ को बोल दिया, ऐसे संबित जी ने, किसी ने मेरे सेशन लिया था, मैंने अटेंड किया था, प्रज्ञा मैडम ने कुछ सेशन लिया था, मालूम नहीं किसने लिया था, और बोल दिया कि भाई आर्ट ऑफ एप्रिसिएशन। तो मैं तो घर गया, यस, एंड देन भिंडी की सब्जी, दाल, आलू, आई सेड भिंडी की सब्जी बहुत अच्छी बनी है, एंड दैट द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट स्टार्ट्स। आज बाजू वाले के वहां से सब्जी आई है और आपको भिंडी की सब्जी अच्छी लगी, मैं हर रोज बनाती हूं आज तक, कभी आपने अप्रिशिएट किया नहीं, लेकिन आज बाजू वाले के वहां से आई है तो आप अप्रिशिएट कर रहे हो। माय डियर फ्रेंड, माय गॉड। सो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट वहां से स्टार्ट भी होता है, अप्रिसिएशन से भी। इट्स नॉट डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड विद दिस टॉपिक, इट इज आर्ट ऑफ एप्रिसिएशन का टॉपिक है, पर मुझे याद आ गया कि यू शू फोकस ऑन सब्जेक्ट मैटर। सब्जेक्ट मैटर के ऊपर फोकस रहो, पहले जान लो कुछ आगे पीछे बात करके, एंड देन अप्रिशिएट। अदरवाइज फिर वो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट बहुत बड़ा हो सकता है, और ये कॉन्फ्लिक्ट तो रिजोल्यूशन के लिए फिर आपको किसी और को, मीडिएशन आर्बिट्रेटर को बुलाना पड़ेगा। इसमें फिर वो मुझे टॉपिक दिया है संबित जी, कुछ नहीं कर सकते हम लोग आपको, we cannot help you in connecting, disconnect ho jayega. So it's a focus on the subject matter. You have to be open-minded and use I and we statement properly. You know, it's not a topic of the, again, discussion. I am just giving a bullet point, my dear friend, that use I and we at the appropriate place in your communication skill. Communication skill जो आपकी है उसमें I and we को आपको कहाँ, कैसे, कब यूज करना है, that technique you should have. And then you can definitely resolve the conflict. These are the strategies. Many a times we knowingly or unknowingly interchanging the word I to we and we to we, I, and then conflict starts. But then if conflicts have already started, you should again now today, after having this discussion, you should now communicate with your team. If it is an interpersonal or intergroup conflict, you should now sit with them. Your one other person with him, the interpersonal relationship have not good, or intergroup relationship has not good, and conflict has happened. You should sit with them and use the proper word I and we, and then you can resolve the conflict. For sure. But you should use the I and we at the appropriate level. Yes, it was, I did not ask you, understand you, why this task has not happened. But now let's discuss together how we can complete this task in given balanced period of time, or how we can now together see and chalk out the plan and complete this task. I and we and I. But we, knowingly, unknowingly, it is your job, you have to do, you are not done. But instead of you, I, we. So it's a strategy, my dear friends. We should use this strategy to resolve the conflict. These are now strategies and conflict for the resolution. Conflict तो हो गया है, वो क्या करेंगे? Conflict तो हो गया है, क्या करेंगे? I have to be away from my preconceived thoughts and bias. Next time you should ensure this conflict has arisen because of my preconceived ideas, preconceived thought. You should be away from the preconceived idea and preconceived thoughts. You have to create a space so others can speak. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो गया है, मीटिंग हो रही है, उसमें आप किसी को बोलने ही नहीं देंगे तो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट और बढ़ेगा. You have to create a space for others to speak. You have to allow them, you have to give opportunity to them to speak, to express their viewpoint. If that is being done, to great extent that conflict will be resolved, and slowly and gradually that group will be in your connect. That group or that individual will be with you in next phase of project or next phase of life, if it is happening in social circle. You should create an atmosphere when the conflict has already in place, and make your opponent or make your entire group understand that, look, we are here to complement to each other and not to compete with each other. If that is clear, we can start a discussion and then we can resolve. हो गया है, मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग हो गई है, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो गया है, डिसएग्रीमेंट हो गया है, करेंगे क्या? We'll resolve it. I take the onus, being a leader. I take the responsibility, don't worry. But we are here to complement to each other. But if we'll think and discuss that we are competing with each other, and we will compete with each other in this group, then this group is not going to perform. In terms of qualitative performance, yes, you have to compete. That man of the match कौन बनेगा आज के क्रिकेट मैच में? Every 11 person has to compete with each other in performance, positive performance, to become the player of the match. Then team will win. But I am on the conflict. So no, don't misunderstand. So we have to complement to each other. We are not to be competing with each other. वो एक mindset है. तो पहले mindset. It's a mindset. It's a mind game. And then conflict starts. And having conflict there in the place, you have to make them understand that we are for each other. हो गया वो हो गया अभी जो भी. But then don't now compete, complement. So you decide whether you have to achieve your goal or whether you have to achieve and maintain your relationship. To my view, and the slide is very self-explanatory, that yes, I have to achieve my goal also and I have to maintain my relationship also. Conflict arises because of state of mind. I have no clarity. I have no priority. I have no clear goal or objectivity. I only think that I want to achieve my goal. But that's all. So I'll be competing with it. And then I may be able to achieve my goal, but as per my relationship are concerned, it will be at low level. See, x-axis and y-axis. Avoid them. किसी ने बोला था कि भाई conflict होता है, avoid कर लो उसको. To some extent, good also. You can avoid. But then, no, that's not a solution. You will be able to achieve the goal also. By avoiding, you will not be able to have improve on your relationship also. So avoiding is not a solution. Maybe for a moment, okay. But don't misunderstand me. Avoiding a person forever, for longer period of time is very, very dangerous. You will definitely not able to achieve your goal also, and you will miss that person also from your life, from your team, from your group. नहीं, आज तो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट मैनेजमेंट के ऊपर आज सेशन अटेंड कर लिया, रिजोल्यूशन के ऊपर तो हम तो अकोमोडेटिव हो जाएंगे. लेट्स बी अकोमोडेटिव. लेट्स अकोमोडेट एवरीवन. वो भी नहीं हो सकता है. If you will be so much accommodative, you will be having good relation with everyone, but you will not be able to achieve the goal, not be able to achieve target. है ना? तो ये पूरा एक बनाया है मैट्रिक्स. तो कोलैबोरेटिव अप्रोच, यस, कोलैबोरेटिव अप्रोच से ही आप गोल भी अचीव कर सकते हैं एंड आप हाई परफॉर्मेंस भी दे सकते हैं एंड कॉम्प्रोमाइज इट एट द सेंटर पॉइंट. अल्टीमेटली कॉम्प्रोमाइज फॉर्मूला से जो आगे बढ़ेंगे, सो दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम यू मे थिंक यू आर लूजर, बट इन लॉन्गर रन यू आर द विनर. In longer run, you will be able to resolve the conflict. In longer run, that person will be with you in your direct connect, and you will be turning your conflict into your connection, your strong supporter. तो why conflict resolution करना चाहिए? Let it be. अपने आप होगा सॉल्व, अपने आप वो समझेगा सामने वाला आदमी, तब आएगा वापस. मुझे कोई उसकी जरूरत नहीं है मेरे टीम मेंबर की. Reduce the stress. My dear friends, knowingly or unknowingly, if you are not becoming a part of conflict resolution, you are increasing your stress. Meaning thereby, if you are a part of conflict resolution, you are reducing your stress and you are enhancing your productivity. If your mind is engaged and occupied in this conflict thinking about the conflict and resolution about the conflict, a conflict is not resolved, your mind will be occupied. You will not be able to have a new idea, new way of working, new attitude, new approach, new positive approach for the life, be it in workplace or at your society or at your home. Conflict resolution will make your communication better, and you will be able to connect people with you. It will help you in your personal growth. It will improve your relationship, as we have seen, discussed so many points. If conflict is resolved, your relationship will improve. Increase your output, your team output will be increased. Because of that, your team has been able to complete next job, next assignment before time with utmost quality. So why conflict has to be resolved? Yes, conflict has to be resolved. You cannot keep that conflict in existence for a longer period of time. Conflict is there, but you have to ensure that it reduces by your different techniques, different approach, different aptitude, different listening skill, different I to V. So this is what, my dear friend, are the more important points of conflict resolution. Conflict resolution, why? The most important thing or point, if I can reach to your mind and heart today, is conflict resolution is giving you a leadership opportunity. Time and again in last almost 80-90 minutes, now you correlate that many a times I have spoken that he will become your follower, he will be your strong supporter, he will accept your leadership if you are a part of conflict resolution. My dear friends, improve your skill how to lead. It elevates performance of your team. You will command more respect. Respect cannot be demanded, respect is commanded. Because of your approach, because of your identifying the conflict at the early stage, and you are a part of conflict resolution. You've explained them to your team member, you explained to your family that by raising voice tone, nothing is going to help, nothing is going to be achieved. They will accept your leadership. So most important thing of why I should become a part of conflict resolution, let it be, वो होगा अपने आप 2-3 दिन में समझ में आ जाएगा उनको कि उनको भी नुकसान है कॉन्फ्लिक्ट से. हाँ, समझ में आएगा, बट तब तक लेट हो जाएगा. You should become a part of conflict resolution, and by becoming a part of this conflict resolution, it is giving you a tremendous level of leadership acceptance. You will be accepted as a leader, and that's the topic of the day, is turning conflict into a connection. Why conflict resolution? Why I should be a part of it? Because you will be accepted as a leader. Conflict into connection. It will transform disagreement into a stronger relationship. जो भी आपका disagreement था, because of you being a part of that conflict resolution, you are going to turn your conflict into a very strong bonding. इसके बाद कभी वो मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग होगा ही नहीं. मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग क्यों हुआ, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट क्यों हुआ? बिकॉज ऑफ improper listening, because of communication gap, because of non-standard SOP, various points we have discussed. But once you have identified it early stage, you become a part of that conflict resolution process, you are converting into a strong relationship. And then lifetime वो टीम मेंबर के साथ, वो पार्टनर के साथ, वो आपके प्रेसिडेंट सेक्रेटरी क्लब के साथ, या आपके फैमिली में किससे के साथ वो आपका रिलेशनशिप का एक बॉन्ड इससे भी है, क्या बोलते हैं, फेविकॉल का जोड़ बन जाएगा. यूजिंग कॉन्फ्लिक्ट एज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर ग्रोथ एंड एम्पैथी. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट कहीं हो रहा है, कहीं कॉन्फ्लिक्ट स्टार्ट हो रहा है, अर्ली स्टेज पे आइडेंटिफाई कर लो एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट टेक्निक्स रिजॉल्व कर लो माय डियर फ्रेंड, you will be able to converting that conflict into a great opportunity for your personal growth. Empathy. Conflict improve your communication skills and to reduce the conflict. एक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रिजोल्यूशन के आप पार्ट बनोगे तो उससे आपकी कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स बढ़ेगी. इट विल हेल्प टू रिड्यूस द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. मैंने पहले भी बताया, अभी बता रहा हूं, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जीरो लेवल पर नहीं जा सकते हो. But because of this process, because of this, you will be able to turning that conflict into a reduction into a conflict. जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रिजोल्यूशन का प्रोसेस में आप इन्वॉल्व हो गए हो और कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रिजोल्व हुआ है एक, तो आज उसके चांसेस कम हो जाएंगे आने वाले पीरियड में इन दैट इंट्रा ग्रुप कॉन्फ्लिक्ट इन योर ऑफिस. So conflict into connection. You're turning conflict into a connection is intrinsic to every relationship. Learn how to make it productive. Conflict तो हो गया, अब इसको प्रोडक्टिव कैसे बनाना है. How you can make it a फेविकोल का जो एडवर्टाइज है ना, that is important. And that skill you have. But knowingly, unknowingly, we have not discussed this in any of such seminar, conferences or platform. And that is why this professional skill enrichment committee has been formed by the leaders of our ICAI, and the committee under the secretary leadership of Sambitji has started this work to make us all consciously discuss. It is not that 90% of thing which I have discussed you don't know. 99% of the bullet point which I have discussed, everybody of you know. सबको पता है, मैंने कोई नई चीज नहीं दी आपको. बट कॉन्शियसली आपने उसके ऊपर गौर नहीं फरमाया है. कॉन्शियसली यू हैव नॉट डिस्कस दिस थिंग. कॉन्शियसली यू हैव नॉट बिकम अ पार्ट ऑफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रिजोल्यूशन. Consciously you have to take this particular bullet point forward and make it productive for your future life. क्योंकि देखो प्रॉब्लम तो आने वाला है, चैलेंजेस तो आने वाली है, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट तो आने वाला है. डोंट रन अवे फ्रॉम द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, राइट? डोंट गिव अप. आज बहुत ज्यादा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आ गए, छोड़ दो, ग्रुप को छोड़ दिया, बहुत ज्यादा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट गए, उसको कर दिया, तो डोंट गिव अप. कन्वर्ट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट इनटू ए कनेक्शन. कीप इंटरेक्शन. योर संवाद विल रिड्यूस द विवाद. यू शुड हैव अ फोकस्ड अप्रोच. डोंट रन अवे फ्रॉम कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, लिव विथ इट. कीप ट्राइंग आइडेंटिफाइंग कॉन्फ्लिक्ट एट द अर्ली स्टेज. मैं समराइज कर रहा हूं. प्रज्ञा जी, जस्ट गिव मी कपल ऑफ मिनट्स. वी आर जस्ट समराइजिंग. Keep trying for resolution. Convert conflict into resolution. The point here is, I am not here to tell you that for this session there will be no conflict. I have told you again. But you please try to convert that into a connection. Problem आएंगे, opportunities आएंगी, difficulties आएगी. Don't give up. Because by giving up, the winner has never quitted and quitter has never won the game. Right? लेकिन मैंने बहुत बोला
कि लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. नन्ही चींटी जब दाना लेकर चलती है, चढ़ती दीवारों पर 100 बार फिसलती है. मन का विश्वास रगों में सांस भरता है. चढ़कर गिरना, गिरकर चढ़ना ना करता है. आखिर उसकी मेहनत बेकार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. डुबकियां सिंधु में गोताखोर लगाता, डुबकियां सिंधु में गोताखोर लगाता है. जा जाकर खाली हाथ लौट कर आता है। मिलते नहीं सहज ही मोती गहरे पानी में, मिलते नहीं सहज ही मोती गहरे पानी में, मुट्ठी उसकी खाली हर बार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती।
So,
कि लहरों
my dear friends, please keep trying to become part of a conflict resolution team, and I am sure मैंने बहुत बताया, लेकिन अमिताभ बच्चन ने बताया तो शायद अभी आप सबके और हमारे दिमाग में जल्दी आ जाएगा कि कीप ट्राइंग एंड कीप ट्राई टू कन्वर्ट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट इनटू कनेक्शन, यू विल बिकम द विनर। थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू सो मच।
Definitely, sir. Great, sir. You have shared all the insight about the topic turning conflicts into the connections. Sir, can we take few questions? It is there, I think, in the chat box.
Chat box, let me check. चैट बॉक्स नहीं है, कोई क्वेश्चन आ ही नहीं रहा है। मैडम आपको कोई क्वेश्चन है दिख रहा है तो मुझे आप बोलिए।
No questions are there. No questions.
No
are-
questions.
Sir, then it is very dangerous, Sambit ji. If there are no questions, then everybody has understood everything as a positive person or nothing. I hope that this is in first stage.
No worries, sir. It has been such an honor to be part of this wonderful webcast on Bridge the Gap, Turning Conflicts into Connection, organized by Professional Skill Enrichment Committee of ICAI. On behalf of Professional Skill Enrichment Committee, ICI, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our speaker,
Thank you.
CA Manish Bakshi ji,
Thank you very much.
his
Thank you.
enlightening session, and a wide round of applause. And thanks to the organizer, Professional Skill Enrichment Committee, ICI, our today's speaker, CA Manish Bakshi ji, and other stakeholders made the webcast a memorable one. Finally, we would like to thank all of you present here and helping us make this webcast a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sambit ji. Thank you, Pragya ji. Thank you, all
Thank
the
you.
participants. Thank you very much.